It says I'm live. That's a good thing. I feel alive, so I must be, unless this is a simulation, in which case I am simulating feeling alive or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, welcome. Um, I got one. I gotta wait and see who this is. Is it UMPS? You gotta find out. Glad to see everyone here. Um, both people who are here and people who will hopefully be here, and or you are watching this after it's already been made into a video. If that's the case, that means that YouTube served you this on their algorithm or via their algorithm. And I apologize because I'm just going to waste your time. And if you haven't already clicked away, then it's on you at this point. Now we're going to have a good time. I am going to delay a little bit, give some folks a chance to get here. Some folks said that they were gonna show up and watch, so I'll give them a chance to come here if they're going to do that. We are going to be taking a look at a game called the Stanley Parable. Hi, algorithm lackey. Good to see you, Victor. Thank you, my man. I'm really glad you came here to hang out with me and us, and hopefully this will be a good waste of your time. And we'll see how that goes. This is a fun game. Just in general, just kind of chatting to fill the space while I wait here for a few minutes. Just finished Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That was a fun game. Oh, it was an intense game. Really, really super good. Not going to give away anything here because some people are still doing their first playthrough, so I don't want to say much about the end, but it was worth it to get to the end. Um, I've heard some people talk kind of about quest burnout in that game, especially once you get to the second half around Kuttenberg, and I can understand that it really starts to get heavy in places, and there were times where I was feeling like, oh man, here we go again. But in the end, oh my God, by the end was a straight vertical. Oh my God, this is so good. And I won't give away any spoilers or secrets, but when the game is over, they show the credits. Let the game show the credits. There's two things there that you'll want to see, if not just the credits. So anyway, 122 hours in. Now that's good. I should check Steam and see what I ended up with. I think I was around a couple hundred hours before I was done. By no means an exhaustive amount of time. A lot of people have spent a lot more time than me on that. Um, Kingdom Come 2 shows, yeah, about 239 hours. There's probably about maybe 10 or 15 hours that includes a second playthrough. So yeah, so a couple hundred hours, and that was good. Nice solid amount. I'm always amazed when they say, well, you can complete the main story in 43 hours, and it'd take 80 to 100 hours to do that. I'm like, seriously? When are you going to spend the 82 hours learning to do alchemy? Yeah, anyway. But yeah, all the side content is good. I got near the end. I kind of burned out on the content, not because it wasn't good, but because I felt like it was getting in the way of me just saying, look, I need to have a really good experience here. There was one quest in particular, again, I won't mention it, but I'm playing through it right about the time that I said, you know what, we're just going to go do the main story now. Where I was looking at it going, you know what, this isn't really even all that much fun, at least for me, for some people. But I've read about that quest online, and it seems like it's not really all that great for others either. So at that point, I'm like, you know what, this is good enough. So rookie number, yeah, but you're very possibly only, 60% of the way through. So that was one of the things. The game did a really good job of obscuring how close you were to the end. There were lots of times where I was like, okay, we must be halfway through. We must be almost there. I was thinking getting to the wedding in the Trotsky region was like, well, we must be 70% of the way done or something like that. But no. So, Subotai, yeah, good to see you, man. Hope things are going okay for you. Well, actually, I guess it's kind of what lunchtime over there almost. So that's not so bad. Yeah, no, it was good. But I'm really happy with that. We're gonna play this Stanley Parable today because it is a 12:04. Yeah, so right on lunchtime there. Um, the Stanley Parable is not a it I don't even know how I would describe it. It's not a story game, but it is. We'll just get into it, and then you'll get an idea of what that is. But it's a lot of fun for the right kind of head. And there are people I've seen play. I think the first game I ever went down a rabbit hole on with watching other people play games, which is for years and years, I was like, why would I waste my time doing that? But I finally started watching people play Stanley Parable before the Ultra edition came out because it was really fun because it messes with your head and it tests. It's kind of a Rorschach test for what kind of a person you are. And a lot of people I'm just watching going, wow, there's a lot of people who are very different from me in the world. And then there were some people who were very similar. Every now and then, some people are like, I don't get it after an hour. They're just like, this is a stupid thing. I'm not going to do this. But a lot of people engaged in any number of different ways. And so we're going to go ahead and get started here soon. Coolio, hey, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming along. I'm glad you had the time to do that. I'm glad you're along for the ride here today. The 16th. I didn't realize that you had that's like Henry of Skeleton. That's great. So no, this is awesome. This is great. I think all the people who said they were going to try to be here are here. So at this point, we can just go ahead and get started. So let me make sure I made a guess. I bought the Ultra Edition yesterday and I just started it. I didn't do any of the pre-checking to make sure the sound is good and all the other stuff is good. So we'll kind of make sure that's it. The reason that I didn't do that is because the game has some, I believe, if they're going to keep going with what they had in the original version, there are some settings that we need to make in the beginning, and so I thought I'll let you guys see all the setup that we do to get the game to play itself. So let me make sure I get my regular sound in the right place here. I think I got that. And I have bossy Princess Cat here, but she's not going to get in our way. She'll probably get up and leave here in a couple of minutes. I think we're good. Yeah, I can already hear the sound, so I know that that's working. Make sure that we got it looking just the way it should. There we go. Okay, so Mirko, I was waiting specifically for you. So oh, I'm glad you're here, man. All right. So I'm assuming English subtitles will be okay for everyone. So we'll just go ahead and choose that. And I'm gonna say no here because I haven't played the Ultra Deluxe edition. I went back and I checked. The last time I played the original Stanley Parable, which is a separate game, was October of 2020. And that's actually really cool because that means in October of this year now, since I haven't started the game since, I will finally get the long-term achievement in that game, which is go out and don't start the Stanley Parable for 5 years. So I'm almost there. Yeah, I appreciate that. Also, just there is no butchering or carving of meat in this game. There are no pistols in this game, so I think we're going to be safe. I probably am not going to do anything that's going to cause you guys any sense of despair or other stuff. But we're going to say no here. I haven't played this just because. Okay, so we adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. For me, that's about where it is. And then we have to enter the current time, which is 8 p.m. We call it 8:09. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not safe. Oh no, we jump right in. Okay. We'll get started. Is the sound level is okay? Is it conflicting a lot with my voice? Should I turn it down? Are we okay? Sounds a little loud to me, but I'll let you guys argue about it. Give me some feedback. Sounding good. Okay, we'll go with that. If at any point you're like, hey, this is really irritating, let me know. I like the fact that if you look on the screen where it says Stanley Parable Deluxe, it's an infinitely regressive screen, which I think is really fun. It's a little loud. That's kind of what I thought too. Let's see, audio. That's going to be pretty okay. There is some talking that goes on in the game, so if at any point it becomes hard to hear, let me know. And let me just double check here. Field of view. And yeah, we'll see if this works. I think it's going to be okay. All right, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and
sound familiar to anybody?
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
He was happy? Really?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
That's the truth, huh?
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, are we Stanley? He said. Why, look at this. So now we're in control. We apparently are Stanley. Whoops. Oh, hang on. I apologize, but I have this little problem. There we go, and then jump to space, interact additional, and then crouch there. It's going to keep it as control. Okay. For some reason. All right. Control. All right. Well, I can live with that. Wait a minute. Oh, did I really? Hang on. Yeah, jump a space, interact as T, interact additional. Okay. So why did that not work? Yeah, okay. It's all better. Sorry about that. I have a whole different key mapping than everybody else in the universe. So anyway, so we can explore a little bit, but they said we're supposed to leave his office and find out what's going on. So let's narrator's a bit loud. Yeah. And I'll try not to talk over him too, since actually what the narrator says is actually really cool and interesting and important. So I see a lot of streamers that just keep gabbling right over as he's saying stuff, but it's like, you guys, this is that's the whole point of the game. So doors are locked.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. The subtitles are there. You want me to... I can reduce them down a little bit.
This is the story of a man named Stan.
All right, we'll try that. Copy machine. I'm not going to do it, but some of the documents...
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the... No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, heck, I'll turn it back up then. Oh, now I'm starting to get fussy. I apologize. I will stop doing this.
This is...
Okay, we'll go back. There we go. Anyway. You try and jump on the desk. Don't seem to be able to do that. But you can turn computers off. Okay. And then none of the doors seem to open. Can't really get close enough to see what it says. It's kind of creepy. This is like his giant office, and it's like everybody goes to 420 to check that. I don't know why, but we're supposed to go to the meeting room. I hate Mondays. Okay. Somewhere there will be a meeting room, right?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Tank, hello. No, we've just started. I've been, you missed me changing the settings for 5 minutes here. Heard about back rooms. I've never actually seen the game. So we must take the door to the left. For those of you who have not played the game, what do we do? Do we take the door to the left? Do we take the door to the right? Do we care? Does it matter? My instinct is always, to say when peak settings game, I think we go back. Oh, we can't go back. So we have to make a choice. My instinct is always to, at least in the beginning, to not do what I'm told. That's kind of been the whole story of my life, which is why I'm poor and hiding out in the Arctic and the police don't know where to find me. But, let's do that.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
That must be why. Let's go take a look at the employee lounge then, I guess. Well, yeah, so far it's been really good, and the police up here they don't seem to care as much. So I guess that's a good thing. Oh, here.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yes. Number one dad. Who farted?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Kebab. Oh, thank you, sir.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
So now we gotta wait to see if there's more dialogue.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Yeah, there's a lot, yeah. And this is the cool thing, because I've seen streamers at this point in the game. They're like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to wait for more dialogue. The game has told you there's no more. But I've seen people, come back 15 minutes later and they're like, okay, fine, I'll leave the room. There is no more dialogue. They said there wasn't. So, anyway, yeah.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
And once again, we're faced with a choice. Yeah, up in this area, there's only 75,000 people that live in the northernmost county of Norway. That's about the county is about the same size as the country of Denmark. 75,000 people live up here. There's actually more than twice as many reindeer as there are people, so you need to fear the reindeer. Well, this is the door we're supposed to go through to get back to business. I don't really feel like going back to business. So stuck in heavy rain. How heavy? Like you can't see the road in front of you heavy? Okay, so we're gonna do do not lie.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
We are not good at following direction. Now we're stuck in a warehouse section with nowhere to go. Warning, do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion. It will cause death. And then there's penalties for misuse and jumping off the cargo lift. So if we jump while it's in motion, it will cause death. And then I guess there's a reasonable guess about whether we jump when it's not in motion, and will that cause death? Yeah, the narrator is something else. But you know what? I don't know. Let's try to jump on maybe some boxes. See if that works.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
What is death, really? Death is a restart. Oh, man. And here we are again. Back at the beginning.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Very possibly. I guess first, though, we have to find somebody to tell us we're in big trouble. So, a little spreadsheet or something there. Oh, this is different. Awaiting input. That's weird. Oh! We got input. Yeah. Co-workers were the friends we made along. Yes. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, I'll tell you what. We'll go left. We'll see what happens. We go this way. Meeting room? Somewhere? Meeting room? It's very, very bright out.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office hoping he
Okay.
might find an answer there.
I'm not going to read everything out loud, but the whiteboards in this room are filled with all kinds of awesome things. This schedule being probably the least awesome of the bunch of them, but this is just one big fat Easter egg. Targets. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Then hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire the paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizer guy. I worked for a company once that was very much like that. And that's one of the reasons I'm hiding out in the Arctic now, 30 years later. The future was yesterday. Tomorrow is now. The slides, also very, very good. Yeah, the room closet. Yes. Choose your favorite dream for the future. Lunch, that works for me. Tips for not getting fired. The third one is the most important one. How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Yeah, this is good. Yes. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header. This is so 2000s. This is good. I have a lot of respect for human resources. A lot being about this to me doesn't matter what country either. Norway, it's the same. They're just a little more polite about it, but yeah. Anyway, rate it which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Stop. Anyway. The bi-quarterly post review. I love the one on the bottom. Find teenager. Let's see. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in the teenage demographic. Big net? Some sort of trap? Oh man, this is good. The space between the teenagers. And you look around and it's like, what do you guys do? We make charts and graphs. That'll really appeal to the teenagers, whoever that is. Shift global market paradigm. Monetize free to play. This game came out for the first time in 2018, 2020. I think it was like 2012 or something like that. And that was in the original one. My goodness, they were ahead of their time. So, death by PowerPoint. Yeah. Hey, let's see if Chris is in the broom closet. Hello, Chris.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Really? How do we know there's nothing here?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I guess there's no reason to still be here. So I guess we can go then if there's nothing else here.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
I agree.
As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
It just still makes me laugh.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Why?
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I like it here. It's pleasant, the hum.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Okay.
I never would have thought to mention it.
So now we're stuck waiting, right? Because what if he has more to say?
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species.
Yes,
Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
And again, we could wait endlessly, but we need to step out into the hallway here. The game will happily wait for us to decide we really are done.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Of course, you know, I guess, what if we went back in?
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
And then, I believe that's it. Yes. So we can pretty much go on our way. Thank you, broom closet. Stairs.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Or there's this beautiful red light and a piece of paper which we're not going to struggle to read. I think we better just go this way, huh? Yeah.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
No.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh my.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue.
He knows
just
the truth.
hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. This is all a dream.
Gotta be, right?
What a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job.
No.
He wasn't crazy after all.
Oh, what a
He
relief.
thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
Yeah?
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange.
I love
I'm
this.
dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
There.
I am okay.
Nope.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
We want to be in control.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
That's good, Victor. Your head is starting to explode now. This, that is one of my favorite endings. Stanley starts at the very beginning. Well, the narrator starts in the very beginning. Stanley sits at this soul-rending job, pushing buttons, and he very carefully says Stanley was happy. But then Stanley's running through this basement hall, this infinite loop, screaming. Stanley couldn't do it. He couldn't face the people there. He's got this boring job he does. It's like, that doesn't sound like he's happy. And then he's dreaming, but he needs control back. He needs to wake up. He needs to be... And then finally he settles on his old boring life. I just want this. I want it to be safe. I want it to be known. I want the real things to happen that always happened to me. And it apparently doesn't work. And we'll keep going down the road because I don't want to give anything away. But that was one of my favorite endings here, because he goes nuts. But he's going nuts anyway, being in a soulless job that's really boring and coworkers who don't care about him. So it's interesting. We change our perspective. We change our decision making about the same picture. It's the same picture every time, but sometimes we like it and sometimes we don't. So this is really fascinating stuff.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Yeah.
What did it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps he had. Yeah.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I remember in the original game, if you rapid click...
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I seem to remember that this door...
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits
If you look
away
at the
for
Steam
such
achievements,
an
this is on there.
measly 5 clicks. Now,
Click on
suppose
door
you were to click
435
the door
times.
20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Gotta do it.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause.
Damn it.
Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost.
That is
Why
me.
don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Okay. 417. All right, I'm feeling it now. 417. There.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Which is back the way we came. 437.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415. Okay. 415. That's way back here. I want to hit sprint. This game doesn't have a sprint key.
Now, back to door number 437.
Is this even going to give me anything?
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
Okay.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Okay. 417. This one.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
This one.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Help. I'm stuck. Okay. What was it? 416?
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
Oh my god. Copy machine.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5!
Yes! We did it!
Comes.
Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
What were you thinking? Bring me 10 rat tails. Now bring me 5 giant rat tails. Now bring me 10 more rat tails. Oh, that doesn't sound... Oh my god. What is it they're talking about to us here? Deep. This one is now awaiting input. Interesting. Now we have 2 little magenta bricks. Access. Okay. Well, let's see. Oh, we were playing a game here where we needed to go to the meeting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, that... I'm breathing pretty hard, I gotta tell you. No, let's go this way.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
I like how they forked. You know, they have this long extended, so if you just blew through, you wouldn't get any of that extra.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
It does not. Perhaps I am missing the $1.25 that is necessary in order to
But
get
eager
that
to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
All right, we'll go do that this time. It's kind of spooky, isn't it? When you go in
And
these
so
places.
he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Or we could just take the elevator for a minute and see where it goes, right? Yeah,
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
What's his
so
name?
now, in order to get back, he needed to go,
Brighting. David
From
Brighting?
here, it's,
Pretty sure Brighting is
left.
his last name. He's brilliant. He is the absolute star of this game.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
We don't know where we're going.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
All right, then. Off we go. The very first time I played this, I was terrified that the truck was going to run me over when I walked in here. I have seen a lot of other streamers do exactly the same thing, where they're like, no, I don't want to go in. But there's nothing here about the truck. Just a little way down. And then we could... Uh-oh.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick,
What?
Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just...
Hey, Sarah.
Back to, oh, who am I kidding?
Yeah, this is one of my
It's
favorites,
all
too.
rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable.
Oh,
How
no.
about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
What
And
else
this
can you
time,
do, really?
Suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm?
I apologize.
Okay, from the top.
Okay. No, I feel bad about making that bad choice. So, anyway, okay. So we'll start. We'll go through it here. We've already got our 4:30 achievement.
Gone. What could it mean?
So
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
that.
simply missed a memo.
See if there's any other inputs that we can put in. Doesn't look like it here. No. Okay. All right. This time we go to the...
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley.
Hey.
Let's find the story.
Let's go looking. I'm sure we'll find the story somewhere. This is where people were saying, oh, this is just like Backrooms. And I've never seen that game, so I don't know. And we're back in the same room here. Okay. We try different hallway maybe. Oh, here we go. This looks good.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
Yes, it does.
Do we need to restart the game again?
Oh, no.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this.
We're not getting
Okay,
anywhere
let's give
now.
it a shot. Why not?
Okay. All right. Let's do that. The end is never the end. Is never the end. Okay. Here we go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Yeah.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. All right, then. Let's do... Okay. No, doesn't look like it. Everything looks just the same.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Okay. I'm ready. Any second.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
All right.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all.
No.
We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
It was a scam.
Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
It was not.
Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
We just, yeah. What? Now we have a line.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Which is trademarked.
Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Well, all right. Off we go then. Off we go. This is exciting.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
All right.
Here's a thought.
Tell me.
Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there?
Yes.
Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there.
Yes, it did.
Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
That would help. Number 6. Come on, you guys, clap.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Okay.
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
All right, my friends, help me out here. Make sure you got this one down here. It's going to be very important later in the story. All right, I think we're good. Okay, still just a line.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line. You do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Oh no. So we made a full circle. Oh heavens. And then
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after
Hell yeah.
everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Here we are yet again. Oh man.
You know what,
Oi.
Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's
Yeah.
it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
Yeah.
Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
That way. We'll do that. Stupid line trademark.
Now, yes, this is exciting.
Absolutely
Just me and
it
Stanley
is.
forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
Going
What do
in
you want
circles.
our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
I love this.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, me too. Going in circles is the best.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
Yeah.
No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Very loud noise. Yeah, I guess that's right, huh? Da-da-da. Oh.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere. which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here.
Yes.
And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
The very first time I played this is where my head exploded, was with that little description, followed by, will the door on the right take us to where we are going? That is just so special in so many ways. Since that must be, then that's the door on the right. And then you come in and guess what? Both doors, same place. This is not just a gaming metaphor. This is a life metaphor, including the thing about, will the door on the right take us to where we're going? Yes, the door on the left will also take you to where you're going, because wherever you're going is where you're going to go. So, oh my gosh, I love this. And this!
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Gotta wonder.
Okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
That one really, it's still, after all these years, it makes me think. The unfair feeling, you know, if we're just a simulation, what if we don't want to be a simulation? I feel like I have self-determination. I feel like I can sit here, switch off the computer, climb a tree. I can do whatever I want to do. Don't tell me my path is self-determined. And yet here we are. He refused to do a restart, and the universe restarted him anyway. Man. Yeah, I'm making my way there.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
It's a fascinating thing. I don't know if you guys have played No Man's Sky, but that game really twists my head, in part because you're a simulation. You're just a construct that's going around exploring a universe that was pre-created, and you're just going to be around until you're done exploring, and then they restart you. But you don't know that you've been restarted, so you get to do it over and over and over again. That's a pretty bleak thing. And now?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, I think we're going to go to the boss's office. I think that's a good choice now. So we got the meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Same as
Feeling
before.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
On the other hand, what if we go in here again?
Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Sarah, you got it. Oh my god. Broom closet ending was my favorite. Executive bathroom. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss has suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Yeah. This is a lovely business strategy. And I'll even though I know the secret here. Yeah, it's a lovely office. Tall ceilings, beautiful red. You can go in the elevator. Again, watching other people play this game, this is the best thing. And the fun part here is to see how many minutes people are willing to wait in here for the elevator to get to its destination. I've seen people take 5 minutes talking to the group about, yeah, what about this, what about that? Eventually, they get tired of waiting. And you're right back where you started. It's not really an elevator, it's a waiting room. All right, boss's office, here we go.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Amazing.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
Yeah.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But
Really?
of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
No. But if I type it in, 2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad,
Amazing.
Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh my goodness. Look at this. Spooky stuff. Okay.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay. More red lights.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yeah, but I came here to see the mind control facility. We do escape a little later. Not just yet.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Yeah,
what
this is the first
horrible
time
secret did this
through
place
on,
hold?
on this
Stanley
one.
thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Okay. Here we go. Cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
427. There's our office. I'm not in it because I'm here.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Funny what those manipulations can take the form of, huh? Crazy.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yeah, well, ask Martiella. Remember, she was the lady who's had to go to a meeting so everybody else would tell her whether or not she was valuable. How much in control are we really?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Crazy, huh? In we go. Doesn't matter how sophisticated it is, the boot screen always is the same plain BS it's been for 200 years.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Or we could turn it on, which we're going to do first this time around. You guys ready? Here we go. Now it's time for us to take control. Remember, that's why we're here.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go. Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Yeah,
In the
there you
event
go.
that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me,
Yes.
where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off?
This is such a beatdown.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
Damn.
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing.
Damn.
No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count.
Big time.
Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Damn. That one again. I don't think I've seen anybody online play this game where they actually listen to the dialogue. It's sinister. Everybody's running around. No, I know. Tell me, chat. Is it blue 5 or is it something 2, 3? And I was like, no, man. Listen to the dialogue. He's telling you how fucking pointless everything is. It's brutal. It just, this whole you are a puppet, and what I really like is that every single thing in this game is minimum 2 layers. Where they're talking about, well, what if your life is futile that way? But they're also just talking about video game stuff, playing Kingdom Come Deliverance. You got 3 choices. You're gonna do A or B or C, and then there's a shadow choice D, which is to do absolutely nothing. Those are your choices. So, and sometimes the game is going to tell you you don't have a choice. We're going this way. I want to go over there. Well, we're not going over there. So it's really interesting. The limitations, there's an illusion that we're going forward inside games, just maybe also in life. But no. Mind control facility. Yeah, okay. I'll end up back there at some point. We'll see. So here again, what if we decide, I don't want to go out. I'm not going to go explore the office anymore. We can sit in here as long as we want. We can actually just say, well, screw it.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
They thought
what
of
if
that
he
too.
had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
We demand stuff that we don't, we decide we have a right to know, or we have an ability to know. And then the universe moves on without us. Man, this stuff is
Just
deep.
a step
I
through
love
this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need.
I'm going to lose all
if
my
I can make it through this door,
watchers here, but
I
this
can
is
make
just...
it through them all. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I go back over there,
This was
but I
not
want
the
to go this way
correct way
first.
to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace? Its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper.
Boy,
Something darker.
the lounge room demons.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley
Yeah.
took the first open door on his left.
It is weird.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
All right, we're going to take the lift over.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Or her.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
She's been waiting. Well, let's go find out. Yeah, it is weird. This is something that is maddeningly funny and really creepy, kind of all at the same time. And you get to choose at any moment what channel you're listening to, including the channel that some people go to, which is, this is just stupid. But for me, this is really fascinating. There's so many layers here. It's such a cool thing.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
So do we pick up the phone? Do we unplug the phone? I think we're going to unplug the phone.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Uh-oh.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
I don't even know what that means.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
I must be real. I
Welcome
must
back.
be.
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
We've made a mess of everything while you were gone, Victor. We unplugged the phone. So now, boy, are we really on rails. There's fences up. There's a gate. We can't jump off the... We can't...
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story will
Not
make
like
no
that could
sense
ever
at all.
happen.
We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
No. This is scary. Everything is walled off. If you're lying right now, stop. You're gonna push us right back through the room here.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Okay, if you say so. Whew. Yeah, there is a little place, and then I think you end up just get stuck. The game
Now
won't do
remember,
anything.
all you need to do is behave exactly as
Okay.
Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first.
Okay.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
I'm ready.
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, He
Yes.
entered the door on his left.
All right. Door on the left. Oh, look what I've done. How could I have done such a thing?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Oh, look at the asset deterioration here. This is terrible. Oh my God. Pixel melt. Hurry. Let's go back, and I'm sure it'll be okay. Meeting room, here we come. Meeting room, everything is fine. Oh no.
It's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
I wonder if this is what Atlas feels like when he restarts No Man's Sky every time.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it.
Yes.
That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story.
Poor dude.
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Then just so you know, if I go to the right, it'll simply loop, and it'll just keep putting me back here until we go through the way on the left. So we go through here. I found that really interesting. The idea that you can monkey with the game, but then somewhere there's somebody who's really sad and frustrated that you screwed up their game by doing something you shouldn't have done. It's not really like that, I don't think, but...
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Yeah?
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
So here we go then. And now
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No more choice for you. You're on a rail now because you can't be trusted to be in the open sandbox. The bathroom is not accessible. This is not accessible. And the office is different.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
It is just... You know, we can say something like Night Shark 115 doesn't, it's not input into the game, so
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
this part has baffled me. I know what they're doing, but it's just
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
we can't.
Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect.
Yeah.
The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You...
And
When
then
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
and now
I
we're
need you to walk
outside,
through the door. Are you listening to me?
looking into the
Can you hear me?
universe.
Is everything all right?
Oh,
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something.
it's so sad.
Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me?
Oh,
Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice.
yeah.
That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Man. And then we restart. That's a, where are we? That's weird. I don't...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I don't remember... I don't remember that happening before.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps
that's
he wanted to
interesting.
stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I thought they did a regular restart on that one. And
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute or two. Now it's only half there. Just a kind of, tingle.
Oh my God.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the
Now,
first
we're going to go
open
answer
door
the
on
phone
his
this time,
left.
because this is a good time to do that. Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
It's been a long time since I played the original one, so I'm very, very likely. Plus, they can
Look,
have
Stanley,
added.
I think perhaps we've
new
gotten
things.
off on the wrong
We'll
foot
see.
here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
But yeah,
the
so
fact is that
Victor,
the
if you're still
story has
here,
been
and
about
I don't know if
nothing
you
but
are,
you
but this will
all
now
this
explain the
time.
game here.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
All right.
This is it, Stanley.
I mean, you're an
Your
adult.
chance
You're allowed
to
to make your own
redeem
decisions,
yourself,
but I was just
to
thinking.
put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
I know a lot of people jump to this ending in the beginning because it's kind of the natural do everything wrong part, but
That's
it doesn't
her,
make much
Stanley.
sense until you've been
You
through it
need
a
to
few
be
times.
the one to do this, to reach
Yeah, it's
out
crazy.
to her. If you can truly place your faith in another,
And I can.
then pick up the phone.
Okay, I'll do it. If I can touch it. Hello. There. Apartment
Stanley, is that
427.
you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
Ouch.
Who'd want to commit their life to you?
Ouch.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me what's really going on here. You know, you can decide not to, but now now you're on a rail.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Yeah. Okay. He has limited powers, but the powers he has are absolute. Yeah, man, that was just like, oh, stab me. Tell me what's up.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
So you're gonna press V.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Oof.
Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Man, the thing is, so here I am pressing buttons, doing what I'm told. The thing is, we're trapped by every choice. Or we are not trapped. We're committed to every choice. We can have this life. We can say, I'm going to have this other life. I'm going to live in a van and drive around Siberia my whole life. Okay, well, that's what you're stuck doing then. So, but, yeah.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press P to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
You see what's
First, he
happening to the
imagined
room
that
here.
one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
So Stanley had this idea that everyone had vanished. Press J to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Yeah?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it
It
again,
really is.
and then again,
It really
and
is.
again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Damn, this always gets me.
But there is no
Always.
answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has.
No
Nothing
wife.
has changed. The longer he
No
spends
family.
here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Then there's a question of which life is the real one? Is there a real one?
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
Yep.
But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
So we're just an observer. I mean, Stanley is just oh boy. Here we are. Press B to be at work in the morning. Here's the thing. I don't have to push that button. That's the D, none of the above. But here, I'm still locked into my role as an observer. I can look at the universe and not participate in it. But the universe just sits there and carries on doing nothing, at least from my perspective, because I'm not participating. So the game will sit here infinitely and gives me nothing. Or I can press B and continue to be an observer and continue to do what I'm told, or at least to do what is required of me. And as soon as I press B,
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
and there we are. Because this is what he does. And when he does, even in his own fantasy parable that he has created, when he gets to a place where, please, I am dreaming, I wish to become normal, I wish to be normal, I wish to be safe, I just want my regular life back. So even when he does question, eventually he's going to come back and press P to question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley.
He
We're
understands.
not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again.
Damn.
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
So that's the ending where, especially if you've been through a few of them, there's a lot of, we're going to go do a fun one now, but there's a lot of them that are really heavy. And this explanation of what it is you've been doing all this time and what Stanley is doing all this time, it's a punch in the face. I don't know how many times I've seen that ending, played that ending. Every single time. I don't know what to do with myself.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He
Let's do
never
that.
functioned well by himself and
Let's do
constantly
something.
needed support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's heavy stuff. And you're absolutely right. And just the awareness of people who are for them. Oh, new content. We're gonna do that. Not right now. But in fact, where are we now? Oh, we're getting close to 10. I think I'm gonna play around here for a little bit, and
When
then
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Assuming I haven't driven everybody away, I'm going to come back and run the new content stuff on Thursday, because I haven't seen any of that, so that'll be kind of interesting.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
But,
Feeling a
oh,
wave
yeah,
of
you do that.
disbelief,
But are we?
Stanley
Is
decided
that the
to go
one?
up to his boss's office, hoping
Is that
he
the
might
boss's
find an
office
answer there.
elevator one? because I'm not in any hurry to be done. But let's go do that. Let's go do that. You are so fucking done with the broom closet. Oh man, this is one of my favorite little gag moments in the game, is where they just, oh man, it's good.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
And then, to be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Yeah. The song of the wealthy or the politically connected. Another awaiting input. Now we have 3. We can find 2 more. Now we're back to regular boss's office again.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Is it
What could it
2485?
mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation.
284.
But his attention was caught by a
Thank
keypad
you.
behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Thank you so much.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
All right then. Here we go. I think this is one of the only things that I know about. I don't remember where, but I saw. I saw something where there were 2 elevator buttons, and I was like, wait a minute, the original only had 1 elevator button. So I was like, I assumed that there was something to do with that, but so we're gonna go back in.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
And here we are. Okay. This is new for me. I never actually hit the up button, or I never had the up button to hit. So I just knew it was there. All right.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow.
Okay.
I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Good deal. Once we're so okay. So we go back down again then.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies
But
and
it's a
gentlemen,
deal.
how does he
I'll
keep
come
coming
back
up
this.
with all
I'll run
this?
over here as quick as I can after this, and if I miss something, you can point that to me there.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
No, we gotta try this one more time.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
All right.
Oh my God. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Yes! Oh my God, this is good.
All right, I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Okay. Do they even make those dumb little bouncy bird toys anymore? I remember those when I was a kid, and that's 925 years ago.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator.
Oh, we don't
Why
have
did I
much
not
choice, do
anticipate
we?
it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to
Okay.
understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Oh, shut up. Oh my God. Yeah, I was probably between 5 and 10 when I first saw one. That was probably closer to 5 than 10. I remember being completely fascinated at how impossible it was that the bird kept going back down again. All right, so yeah, well, we can go up again. We try. We'll see how we freaking exhaust this guy.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley.
Oh,
You and I,
no.
we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go.
God damn it.
Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want
Absolutely.
big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley.
Oh.
What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years.
Going up
and it's really all
slowly.
because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital. and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know?
Where
People
the
look
hell
up
are
to
we
you.
going?
Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you.
What?
So that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people
After
who've
this,
been
I think
following
so.
you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Good God.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
All eyes on Stanley live on stage. World's healthiest human being. Oh no. How we did it, the pyramids. The guy who went to Mars. Okay. Well, I see my peer group here. World peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. Stanley from the Stanley Parable. Oh, there's a picture of him in his office. World's first sentient machine. This is good. Doing great. A conversation with Alexander the Great.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart.
The Lord
I'm
meet and
really
greet.
proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from, your co-workers. An unforgiving account of ups as well as downs. What the hell? 427. Up again, down again. Okay, that's his book. The Storyteller. Oh my goodness. Stanley, me. David, age 6. Oh boy. Story. You're cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. Wow. Oh man. And then they've got two Break a Leg Champ ones. So it's like, yeah, just slap up some assets so he's happy. Oh, that was the dude who came up with pizza. That was a subtle little slap. Excuse me. The elevator buttons. You know what? It's just a parable. And it didn't happen. Any more than any of the other things. Wow.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Oh! I have another awaiting input here now. They got 4 now. Like, yeah. Oh, input received. I don't think turning the rest of them off has any effect, but... Doing, Oh! Not yet. Yeah,
When
yeah, we
Stanley
go there.
came to a set
Absolutely.
of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Absolutely. We're still, we still got
Yet
time.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
And down into the passageway, I'm assuming. I wasn't sure if this... No, that one wouldn't have been. Yeah.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
You know what? That sits in my heart with this vicious ADHD thing I have going. There's a lot of times in games where I would love to just go, yeah, let's just do the thing, and then put you ahead of where all of that same dialogue for the 85th time takes place. That would be happy time for me.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We going this way or in? Okay. Don't press the second button. So I press this one then.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Wait, I've jumped up. Wait, I have jumped up. Yeah, so I'm up here. Wait.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? Good. We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it.
Oh, Lord.
Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. The railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
I'm feeling blessed. Jeez. That's one of the endings where it was really good that it ended. Oh my god, that was fun. Oh, that was fun. Damn. Oh, look. Awaiting input. Now that you know how to climb chairs... I have to push this first. Okay. Buttons. And this will be endless. Because we're in heaven now. Oh Lord, this is... When heaven becomes a prison... Oh, you can press them. I feel like I'm being trolled here. Oh, they're turning themselves back on again. I think I have to begin the game again. Yeah. I would be. This is heaven, Subutai. If you ever wondered. For those of you who are trying to live a good life, this is what you have to look forward to. So, just saying. In my case, if they... Oh, interesting. If I ever get up there, somebody at the gate is going to laugh and go, I don't know what the hell happened.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Hard to believe, since there are so many memos. Anyway, you were saying something about a chair. Climb on more chairs. Well...
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Seems like this one I can almost climb. Can't jump. Can I? Okay. Oh, this one I climbed on before. I don't know. 434's desk. There. Oi. Ah!
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
There's the window.
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes, I'm sick of this gag.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton.
Oh my God.
He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable.
Yes.
You too will become quite unbearable.
Okay then. Oh Lord, this is just gonna go on forever. Okay, I get it. I get it. Oh man, that was good. I'm gonna do one more.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
The monitors are continuing to deteriorate. Interesting. Yeah, we'll get to that one. I'm going to run through one more time.
When Stanley came to a
Tonight.
set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I know this can be a pretty intense game experience because it's just stabbing you in the eye the whole
Yet
time.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
425 store.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I'll have to do that at some. I didn't know that there was something.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It's just already opening.
Here's the door, just go.
You mean was that 4:30? We did that maybe before you got here. I remembered that achievement from the first game, and sure enough, it was okay. All right, off we go. I'm going to go down the
Stanley
escape
walked
route
straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
for the
Although
those of
this
you who haven't.
passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Yeah. Oh well, maybe we better go back.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Okay, so, no, maybe
Nope,
we'll go this way.
still on board with death?
Yeah.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to willingly confront our death in a parable.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man.
Ouch.
And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Now we're in 3 dimensions, or 3 layers. Because now we have someone who is outside of both Stanley and the narrator in the same game. Except we're not in the game anymore.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Yeah, good question.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
I am a little bit in question with that, because that assumes that meaningfulness is a definable thing. But what's meaningful for you may not be what may be meaningless to me, but something that I say, yes, but this direction here is meaningful. Who's for others to decide what has value and what is meaning? So in a way, the construct, the female voice that's over the top of the narrator and Stanley, she's also deciding what's meaningful and meaningless. But what if Stanley found meaning in what he did? It's temporary, and it doesn't seem to serve a purpose, but then our lives are temporary and don't necessarily seem to serve a purpose either. So maybe the meaning that we find for ourselves is enough. This is really, really cool. This whole area here. This is something they have talks about, or the explanations about the creation of the game, the design of the game. So they're showing the original layout of the sequence in the beginning, from Stanley's office over to the door, or the room with 2 doors. They had to figure out how to make that correct. Come around here to look at the 3rd sign. They're talking about the room with the 2 doors. That was, for them, that was where the game started. That's, if we're going to have a game that talks about this, it's going to start from here and then expand outwards, which is real. I don't know. To me, this is just such a fascinating thing. there's buttons to press. The credits are here. All of the people that that put the game together. And the more you go through this, sometimes people call this a museum. Early version of the maintenance room. But I don't think of this as a museum. This is like a shrine. Ultra Deluxe announcements at the Game Awards. They were screenshots of things that they had made, which is really interesting because they were really poking a lot of fun at themselves in kind of that self-deprecating way that we sometimes do when we're making light of stuff, but we're really hoping that people are going to find value in something that we did. Scrapped ideas. Stanley was going to end up on a battlefield fighting aliens, but it was too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game, and then people who love shooters thought they were making fun of them, and it's really interesting. This could be a half hour's exploration in here too. I'm not going to do that to you guys because you guys are limping along as it is, but early version of the employee lounge. They got a place where Kevin Bright, they outtakes from him, previous version of the telephone timer had like what 15 seconds on it and then it resets. Yeah. Cargo lift, early versions of things. It's really interesting to see that a lot of this stuff was thought through and then rethought through. The version of the game that they produced in some ways was just like what they were thinking, but very different. And to me, I don't find any of the things that they chose better or worse. They're just like, oh, okay, so then you moved on and did this other thing different. Zending. Yeah, it's escape menu. For a long time, escape ending and only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. But then players didn't know what they were supposed to do, so they get confused and pissed off. So they're like, no, we better not do that then. Anyway, there's just this massive amount of stuff that's in here. It's super interesting to see. They games creator's brother is a big YouTuber, Twitch streamer. That's really cool. Meaningfulness is objectively subjective. Yeah, it is.
Oh, look at these two.
Yeah.
How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Stanley does. The narrator would be if Stanley could get free. I believe the narrator would also want to go along, but he's very dedicated to his purpose. Since Stanley can't break free, the narrator says, I won't either.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time...
So we can quit. To save them. But if we quit, we remove them. They don't escape their prison and go on. I could escape my prison here and go on, but the two characters in the game, they just cease to exist. So I can have them cease to exist by quitting the game.
Choose for you. Don't let...
Or I can let time do it for me. Crazy stuff. Yeah, the only way to win is to not play. And the thing is, that only works inside the game. So the moment that I remove myself from the game, I'm depriving myself of the time that I am spending there. And if the time is meaningful for me, then they're wrong. But if I'm simply racing through because I have to do the things, if I'm just pushing buttons, if I'm just trying to move the horse along the track, shoot these things in the head because that's what I have to do, write that memo, request that ChatGPT write that memo. If that's all I'm doing, then I'm wasting time at that point. But sometimes the answer is to get up and go do something else. Sometimes the answer is to stay there and discover meaning. But either way, it's interesting stuff. Yeah, the game is now paused. It's yes, it is. Everything there is. No, it's really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and stop here just because it's a good stopping place. It's already been 2.5 hours. Those of you who have struggled along here, I really appreciate you coming out to do this. This wasn't on my wasn't for my regular program, but I needed something to do. I just had to come back out here. It's been 2 weeks since I've been streaming. It's making me crazy. I don't like the feeling of getting out of touch with folks here. And I wasn't sure if there'd be a lot of folks along. Sarah, thank you for dropping by. I really appreciate having you here. Really appreciate your company. Glad you had a good time while you were here. And come back again sometime. Yeah. So this was fun. It's one of my favorite games, not in the sense of, my God, I play this every weekend, or, it's so deep and I could play 200 hours. It's not that kind of a game, but every now and then I like to come back here. It was funny. Right now when I said that, I remembered there was a book I read as a kid. It was called The Phantom Toll Booth. And I read that book a lot when I was a kid. And then for a long time, every 5 years, up until my 30s, when I was almost 40, every few years, I got to go read that book again, because it was something that kind of reminded me of some things. And, it's like, remember about this stuff, remember to think, so I like to come back here both in terms of thinking about game construction and setup and processes and that sort of thing. But I also like to play it just to poke my own head, poke myself in the eye, so that I remember that I'm, like, are you thinking about these things? And because it's important for me to do. Anyway. Oh, is it 10 years in this one? Oh my God. I was said in the beginning, I checked Steam, and in the original Stanley Parable that I bought, my last play was October of 2020. So I saw that and I'm like, oh, it's don't play for 5 years. So later this fall, I'll be able to go ahead and finally get that achievement. If I got to do it for 10, now we're asking the question, will I still be alive to get that achievement? So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's a funny thing too. You're thinking about Fallout 5. Fallout 4 is my most played game, and I was like, Fallout 5, that'd be great. Of course, if it comes out in 2038, hell, maybe I'm just like some nursing home somewhere. But we're dead either way. It doesn't matter. But anyway, you guys have a great time. Thanks again for coming out. Really appreciate y'all hanging out. You guys are champion, brave people, and I really much appreciate that. And I think I'm done with all of my manic project stuff here. Now I'm just busy as usual. So I think I'm going to start up on Thursday again, and then do my weekend streams as usual too. So Total War Shogun 2. It's very different game. That's a good way to play it, and it's good for between 1 and 2 hours at the most, and then your eyes start to go rolling around in different directions. So, but yeah, so we'll see. I will. I'll see where I'm at for Thursday. I got a couple of things I need to do, and then if I'm ready to start the first Baldur's Gate, I'll do that. If I'm not ready, then maybe I'll come back here and maybe I'll do the new content in Stanley and see what that turns out to be. But either way, Yeah. Well, here we go. I'll see you guys soon, and y'all take care. Stay safe out there, okay? Remember, be intentional in your lives.